Yes, sir.
Okay. So today we have to be start the lecture on the course data communication. Am I audible to all?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, if you will have to be see, uh, first of all, I will welcome all of you to the new semester and in the new class you are now. And I hope all of you are doing well and no one has been affected from this pandemic corona, and all of you are healthy, and in your family also all the members are healthy. So today, as the I have you have to be able to see my slide also. Everyone is able to visible slide.
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Now, we have to be here the third year. This is the course that is called the data communication, and the course code is 304205, provided by the university. Now, if you have, uh, first of all, I will be discuss before beginning the actual teaching, what are the vision and mission of our institute, because this is very important to know the vision and mission of the institute is there. So first of all, if you have to be see the vision of our Amrut Mohani College of Engineering is to create opportunities for the rural students to become able engineers and technocrats to continual excellence in the engineering education. So our vision is clear. We have to be develop the rural area students mostly, and to make them engineers and technocrats that could be excellence in their education. And the second one is the mission of our institute. If you have to be see, so our mission is to create self-discipline, physically fit, mentally robust, and morally strong engineers and technocrats with high degree of integrity and a sense of the purpose, who are capable to meet the challenges of ever advancing technology for the benefit of mankind and the nature. We, the management and the faculty and the staff, therefore promise to strive hard and commit ourselves to achieve this objective through a continuous process of learning and appreciation of needs of time. So our mission is also very much clear that what we actually want to make you, we want to make you the self-disciplined, physically fit, mentally robust, and morally strong. Not only an engineer, but this kind of qualities should be within you when you have to be pass out this course. Now we have to be see, we have to become to the next part after the mission. What are the course structure of our university? If you have to be see the course structure, it is also very much clear. So this is the data communication subject, and this is the three lectures are allotted by the university as a theory, and it is consist of the 100 marks, 30 marks for the in-sem examination, and 70 marks for the end-sem examination. Both are the written examination. So if you have to be further divide this in-sem and end-sem, the first three units would be covered in the in-sem examination. Each unit would be consist of 10 marks question in the in-sem examination. So you are coming from the phase of the online pattern to the in-sem end-sem pattern. So this is very important to understand what is the way the university would be conduct the examination and how you would be score the board in your paper. And the an in-sem examination is basically after 1.5 months of the commencing of the semester or beginning of the semester, and at the end of the semester when all the 6 units has been taught to you, you would be face an end sem examination that is having the 70 marks. So in this 70 marks paper, uh, higher weightage is given to the fourth, fifth, and sixth units, and less weightage is given to the first three units. The first three units would be consist only the 20 marks question, and last three units would be consist of the 50 marks question. So in this way, that it would be balanced, 50 marks for the first unit and 50 marks for the last three units. And if you have to be see the credit, that is having the 3 credits of this subject, and the second row you have to be see, this is mentioned as the microcontroller and data communication lab. So this is basically about your practical. So both the subject has will be combined in a one module, and that would be conducted as a examination. So it is having the 4 hours per week, 2 hours for the microcontroller practical and 2 hours for the data communication practical. And even it is also consists of the 100 marks, 50 marks for your term work and 50 marks for your practical. So out of this, if you have to be go the micro level division, so microcontroller would be consist of the 25 marks in the term work and data communication having also the 25 marks, similar in the practical examination, and it is an external practical examination. You have to be performed. Okay, this is not a oral that you have to only give the oral. You have to be also perform the practical and find out the results. Okay, and as per that it is having the 2 credits. So total you have the 5 credits of this subject. You have to see the overall. Now we have to be come to the next point. uh, what are the course objective for this particular course, that is called the data communication. Here listen, I am using the word course. Course means here the subject. Okay, so when I am or any teacher would be say that course objective means it is the objective that has been set for that particular subject. So if you have to be see, there are the 5 course objective of this data communication. First is to provide an in-depth introduction of all aspect of the data communication system. Okay, and second one, that would you have to be give the in the first unit you have to be see this all the requirement and all the depth of the data communication what we are going to learn. Second one is the to define different data formats for the better data transmission. So there are different types of the data formats are available. Okay, so we have to be learn in detail all the data formats, analog, digital. In digital also multiple formats are there. So we have to be see there. Third objective is to introduce various digital baseband and band pass modulation schemes. Okay, so this is also the uh, third objective of this particular course. Means baseband signaling you have to also learn like PCM and delta modulation, and as well as the band pass like ASK, PSK, FSK. So both kind of the modulation scheme we have to be learn in this particular course, and to identify the need of data coding and error detection mechanism. This is also very important topic, that in all the mobile communication and in any other kind of a communication we have to use the coding of the data to for providing the security of this particular data. Either it is a uh, mostly we have to provide it in the data communication. Okay, so that is whatever you have to be text messaging or WhatsApp, these all are coded. So what kind of the different coding techniques are available we have to be also learn, and what are the errors coming during the transmission we have to be also learn, and how to correct this error. So these all techniques we have to learn in this particular course. And the finally the fifth one is to provide the knowledge of various multiplexing schemes. So apart from the baseband and bandpass modulation schemes, there are some advanced level schemes are there, that is called the multiplexing schemes. So we have to be also learn, and what are the applications we have to also go into detail in the 6th unit. So these are the 5 objectives of our course. Now come to the outcomes. Means after learning this course, at the end of the semester, how much you are capable to use this course in your daily life applications, or maybe in the industry wherever you have to be recruited. Okay. So first of all, after successfully completion of this course, you will be able to first able to define and explain the terminology of the data communication. So there are the 6 outcomes I have defined, and it is actually given by the university. And these all outcomes has been be reflecting the units. There are the 6 units, so 6 outcomes are there. So from the first unit, you have to be able to define and explain the terminology of data communication. Second, you would be able to identify and explain the error detection and correction using the appropriate technique, that is from the second unit. Third outcome is you would be get an exposure to entropy and other coding techniques are there, or information theory like this from the third unit. And the fourth outcomes, you would be able to design a data communication system. So we have to be see all the types of data communication we have to be going to learn in this semester, and design of that communication system also we are going to learn. We would be able to design this data communication system. Fifth outcome is that understand the impact and limitation of various modulation techniques. So you would be come to know what are the impact of these modulation techniques on our data transferring, or maybe voice, whatever the kind of the audio or video you are going to use for the transmission, and as well as what are the limitations, what are the you can say the drawbacks of that also. Then the last outcome, that is based on the sixth unit, that is to acknowledge the need and limitation of various multiplexing and spread spectrum techniques like TDMA, FDMA. This kind of the multiplexing techniques we are going to see. DMA we have to be learn, that is used in nowadays in the mobile communication, and spread spectrum technique that is used in the military applications also. So these are the 6 outcomes. After completion of this course, you would be able to understand and explain and as well as use this kind of the things. Now I have to just brief the syllabus. I am not going into detail. Unit 1 is related to data transmission fundamentals. Unit 2 is related to the error control coding. Unit 3 is referring the information theory. Unit 4 is referring the baseband signal encoding. Unit 5 related to the band pass digital signaling, and last unit is related to multiple access signals. So you have to be, now you have to be clear the idea what is the purpose of writing these outcomes. These all are based on these 6 units. Okay, so this is the some overview of the syllabus. Now come to the unit number 1 that we have to be going to start now. Am I audible to all of you? Am I audible to all of you? Anyone, everyone is comfortable?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, uh, come to the topic. First unit is data transmission fundamental. So we have to be see first what are the uh, subtopics in this particular unit that we are going to cover. First, all we have to be going to learn the data transmission concepts and what are the different terminologies in the data transmission. Second, analog and digital data transmission. Third, transmission modes like simplex, half duplex, and full duplex. Okay, this kind of the things we have to be going to there. Then uh, next one is transmission impairments and channel capacity. Then transmission media, guided or unguided or wireless, you can say. Data transmissions, parallel, serial, synchronous, asynchronous, analog and digital signal properties, bandwidth, data rate, bit rate, all these things we are going to learn. And what are the devices we are used for the data transmission generally? Hubs, repeaters, switches, bridges, routers. Okay, and layer architectures, OSI model and ISDN model. So these are the some points we are going to discuss in this particular uh, unit, and we will be learn this actually. Now we have to start with the first topic, that is the data transmission concepts and terminology. So what do you mean by the data transmission? What terminology we are going to use for this data transmission? Basically, data transmission occurs between what? Transmitter and receiver via some medium. Data transmission occurs between our transmitter and receiver via some medium. Can anyone tell me what are the some means of the some medium here? For a digital communication network, we have to require a transmitter, a receiver, but apart from these two, in between of these two, there is a some medium is there. Okay, this medium could be a wired medium or could be a wireless medium. Okay, but basically it is a channel over which we have to be transmit a data, and through the channel it would be received by the receiver. So whatever the impurity to this particular data means, we can say what are the uh, interrupts or what are the errors could be added in the channel only, and that errors we have to be recover in the receiver end, and we have to be get a finally a faithful signal that we have actually transmitted at the transmitter end. So this is the way we have to be transmitted data. Transmission medium may be classified as a guided and unguided, but in both the cases communication is in the form of the electromagnetic waves. So all that communication, either it is audio signal, video signal, or simply a messages, this all would be transmitted in the terms of this all communication would be terms of the electromagnetic waves. So if you have to be see the guided medium, so what are the guided mediums are there? If you have to be see the guided mediums are basically a wired medium actually. So like we have to use a twisted pair cable, coaxial cable, optical fiber. We have to be go into a detail for this. This is just a terminology. I just want to give you an overview. Second one is the unguided or wireless medium. So what are the unguided or wireless medium is air, water, vacuum, sea water. That is all are the wireless medium. Okay. Second one is the terminology we have to move further. So that is the some terminology like a direct link. Direct link means what? Between the transmitter and receiver, there is no intermediate devices. Okay. So this kind of the communication is called a direct link. Can anyone, if you have to see, example of the direct link is there, point to point communication. That is a one of the example of direct link. Only two devices share the link. Can anyone give me the example of point to point communication or direct link? Anyone have any idea where we have to be use a direct link communication?
Coaxial wires.
Coaxial wires. But here the media is what? Coaxial cable is a media. Okay, that is not, doesn't matter. But example means you have to be have a transmitter and another is the receiver. So coaxial wire is a media. It is not a transmitter or receiver. Anyone else? Anyone else? Simply, we all are using in our households. That is the remote control
Landline.
and television. Here the remote control is your transmitter and television is your receiver. And in between that, it is a wireless, it is an infrared communication actually. But there is no intermediate device. You have to be press the button on the remote control and directly the whatever the information it want television want to get, it would be get. When you have to be change the channel, it would be directly receive the message. I have to be switch this channel to this channel. So there is no intermediate device. This is the best example and very common example. Similarly, another kind of the transmission terminology is the multi-point communication, where we have to be use more than two devices to share the common link. So can anyone give me the example of this multi-point communication, where we have to be share a common link to the multiple devices, more than two devices?
LAN.
Anyone have idea? Yeah. Hello. Anyone? Anyone has idea of internet? Basically a LAN cable, LAN, local area network, where you use the same link for the multiple computers. You have to be seen in your college also in the department, where we use the LAN cable for that is a one of the example of the multi-point communication. Same lease line is there and that would be shared to the multiple computers. It is the point is clear? Point is clear?
ATM.
A what?
ATM.
ATM.
Yes.
Multi. It is a one of the app. है ना? That could be shared करते क्या? At one account could be logged in by the multiple person. So it is just an application of multi-point communication, but not. You have to be say this is the actually used. You can't consider it as a
It
multi-point.
it is also connected via LAN.
Through the LAN there is a multiple internet network has been connected. So you can't say it is a multi-point communication. You have to be give such kind of the example of hardware where there is the transmitter and the receiver both. In the Paytm, it is one of the app intermediate app is there. It is not cover a communication network. Okay,
Tower.
LAN is one of these. You can use a wide area network. Okay, this is also or any other networking system that would be considered as a multi-point communication. Okay, now you have to be come to the next topic. After I think now you have to be got little bit idea what is the data transmission terminology. Okay, and you can see also the type of the communication like simplex, half duplex, full duplex. That is also one of the part of terminology. Now come to the type of the data. Analog and digital transmission. There are two types of the data transmissions available: analog and digital. So if you have to see that, I have mentioned as a note, to be transmitted data must be transformed to the electromagnetic. Either it is analog data transmission or digital data transmission, it should be transformed into the electromagnetic signals. Okay, and I think all of you are aware of the electromagnetic signals. You have learned this in the analog communication as well. Okay, I'm not going to very much detail of that. Now we have to see what are the analog and digital actually. So data can be an analog or digital. The term analog data refers to the information that is continuous, and digital data refers to the information that have the discrete states. It is we all are familiar this particular definition. I'm just you take a revision because it is consist in the syllabus. Analog data take on the continuous values, and digital data take on the discrete values. And all of you are know this. So what how can we remember this point? Like this notes I have made also in the slide. Data can be analog or digital. Analog data are continuous and take continuous values. Digital data having the discrete states and take the discrete. Now we have to be see. Now after data, I am coming to the another aspect that is called the signals. Signals can also be analog or digital. Signals can also be a analog and digital. The analog signals having the infinite number of values in the range, and digital signals have only a limited number of values. One thing you have to be understood that data and signal both are different terms. Do not mix up this. Data could be analog and digital, and signal also could be analog and digital. Okay. Like what are the example of the analog data? Anyone can? What do you mean by the analog data? What do you mean by the analog data? Anyone has idea? Can anyone answer this? What do you mean by the analog data?
Continuous signal.
Example.
Mm. Live sharing video.
Live?
Live sharing video and
That is a
continuous data.
that is example of the you can say a signal, है ना? But I am asking,
Mic and
what
speaker.
do you mean by the analog data?
Mic and speaker is example of that.
Hmm? Your voice signal. that is an analog data. What you are speaking, I am speaking now, that is analog data. Okay, it is continuous, but it is not. You can say a periodic. It is a periodic signal. Okay, and digital data example. Generally, digital data is in the form of representation. How we represent digital data in form of binary. This is having the two labels only, either 0 or 1. Okay. Now we have to be see. This is the example of signals now. One of the diagram is representing the. One of the diagram is representing the what? Analog signal. Another is representing digital signal. Okay. So this you have to be as per the definition. Analog signal means what? It is a continuous form of the signal or information. And in the digital, it is discrete states, but this is the digital signal. Okay. So this is very simple. All of you are familiar. By this, this is just a comparative I have given. So what in the data communication we commonly use a periodic analog signal and non-periodic digital signals. You have to be see periodic analog signals generally we prefer in the data communication. It doesn't mean that analog signals are not non-periodic. It is also having the non-periodic analog signals, but we prefer a periodic analog signals, and you can use a non-periodic digital signals as well. These are the frequently used. That's why I have given as a note. Okay. And in the case of periodic analog signals, how to define this? Periodic analog signals can be classified as a simple or composite. So a simple periodic analog signal is a sine wave. Okay, it is a sine wave that cannot be decomposed into the simpler signal. A simple periodic analog signal is a sine wave that can't be decomposed further. That is called the simple signal. But what is the composite signal? Composite signal, periodic analog signal is a composed of multiple sine waves. Okay, so we have to be see what I want to say you. This is the word example. If you have to be see this example, so what is this? This is the simple periodic analog signal, or this is a composite signal, periodic analog signal. Okay, we have just 10 minutes now as per this. So you have to be see it is a simple sine wave signal is there. Okay, and if you have to be see what are the key aspect of any sinusoidal signal? What are the characteristics of this? Generally, we measure in the form of the amplitude, time period, frequency, phase. These are the characteristics of any signal. We have to be see further. First of all, we have to be define this sinusoidal signal in the mathematical form. Can anyone tell me the mathematical equation of this sine wave or any sine wave? How can we generalize the sine wave in the mathematics? In the y-axis, this is the amplitude, and in the x-axis, there is a time. Okay. So it is a time domain representation. We have to also further learn that what is the time domain representation, what is the frequency domain representation. But in the general, we have to be represent any signal in the time domain. Okay, so I will be seeing in the next slide. We have to be see in the next slide what is the mathematical representation of this. So generally, the sine wave can be written as a, suppose here I have taken as a st. You can take any value, yt, or okay, anything. A sine 2 pi ft. Okay, so here what do you mean by the A is what? St is the instantaneous amplitude, and A is what? Peak amplitude. Generally, some books use the AM to representing the maximum value or peak value. F is what? Fundamental frequency of the signal, and T is the fundamental time period of the signal. You can further explore this expression as a sine 2 pi by t. So because we know that there is a inverse relationship between the frequency and time period, so you can represent either in the time or either in the frequency term. Okay. So what we have to be note here, this is the term that is inside the parenthesis or bracket. What? 2 pi f. It is called the radian frequency. It is also called as a omega. So you can also write this signal as st is equal to a sine omega t. This is also another kind of the representation. This is the just a way of representation. It doesn't change any meaning. Okay. So omega is what? It is basically equal to 2 pi f. It is a radian frequency. Now, if you have to be see, in this particular case, I have to be showing in the diagram two signals with the same phase, same frequency, but different amplitude. One signal with the high peak amplitude, another is low peak amplitude. Okay. But what is the main concern is there, if you have to see the highlighted point in the diagram is the amplitude, peak amplitude. So what do you mean by the peak amplitude or amplitude of the any signal is? It is the highest intensity of the or maximum intensity of any signal which carries the power also. Okay. So how can we understand whatever the supply coming to our households, that is also a sinusoidal signal. So that is having the peak value also. So in this slide you can see what is the value of the peak amplitude of power supply coming to our households. Generally we know that it is a 220 volt to 240 volt, but that is not the peak value. That is actually the RMS value, root mean square value. So what is the relationship between the RMS value and the peak value is there? RMS value is equal to peak value divided by root 2. Or you can say peak value is equal to root 2 into RMS value. So when you convert the RMS value 220 volt into the peak value, you will be get a 310.6 something. So you can consider as a 311 volt to 340 volt. Okay. So basically whatever we have to use the term that is the RMS value. Lots of the students are not know about this. 220 to 240 volt is the RMS value. It is an average value actually. And but actually the peak value that we are getting is the 311 to 340 volt. Okay. Now if you have to be see, same thing have to be represent here in the diagram, peak value and you can say the average. Now the next term is how many times are remaining, then we have to be go to the next. Okay, 5 minutes are there. Okay, I will be see. Can anyone take the screenshot of this attendance participants? Do you know the how to take the screenshot? If you have to know, then take this and send me the personally in the WhatsApp, not in the group. Okay. Is it clear? Anyone can do. Otherwise, I will be taking. No response is coming from your side. Who will take
Yes,
this?
sir. Ravina will.
Okay. Now, come to the next topic. I will be just finish in very few time. Very simple point is there. This is the period and the frequency. Okay. So, what is the period and what is the mean by the frequency is there? If you have to be see. What do you mean by the period? It is mentioned in the slide. It refers to the amount of time in seconds a signal needs to complete one cycle. And what is the frequency is there? Frequency is what? It refers to the number of periods in 1 second. Okay. So what is the relationship between both of them? I have already discussed with you that it is inverse proportional to each other, frequency and the time period. Okay. That is the mathematical relationship also shown. That is f is equal to 1 upon t and t is equal to 1 upon m. It is very simple. We know from the longer time there is what is the relationship between both of them. Okay. Now we have to be see the example. From this example, we have to be understood. Try to understand what is the frequency and what is the time period. So as per the definition means what? What is the time period is there? As per the definition, it refers to the amount of time in seconds the signal needs to complete one cycle. So if you have to be see, in the diagram, there is a red color highlighter is there. That is saying that, this highlighter is saying that what? This is one cycle is completed. Means, what do you mean by the cycle? From where the signal has to be start and end, this particular same label. So this is called the one cycle. Means it is called a fundamental time period. Okay. So how many cycle in the first diagram? If you have to be see, when you have to be go to count, it would be in the within 1 second there is a 12 cycles are there. 12 cycles are completed in 1 second. Means 12 periods in 1 second. As per the frequency definition, what is the frequency? Is that number of cycles to be completed within 1 second, it is called the frequency. So here the frequency is what? 12 hertz. Okay. At the same, what is the time period for this? For us fundamental time period, it is 1 second duration of the signal divided by number of cycles. So 1 upon 12 second is the time period of the signal. Similar kind of example is taken in the second picture. Here in the this is the time period is larger. The 6 periods completed in 1 second. The frequency is 6 second and time period is 1 upon 6 second. So this diagram you have to now clear the idea that how to measure the frequency and time period for a signal. It is a very fundamental information, but you have to be know this. So as per the today, this is the some unit conversions are there. We have to be go to the tomorrow lecture. Okay. Now maybe 1 minute time is remaining only. So we have to be wind up our session today. So whatever I have taught you, at least you have to be just go through. And then I have to forget to mention the reference books actually. So you can go through the for the first unit. They said 2 books are preferred by the syllabus or the university. That is one of the data communication and networking written by the Forozen. It is a very good and famous book is there for the computer engineering department. So for the first unit, you can refer that. That is a very simple language. You can everyone could understood from this particular book. Or otherwise, whatever the textbook is given by the university, the same topic data